Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. To the best of my knowledge, the only tarot reading on the internet, or anywhere for that matter, I haven't heard of anybody else doing this, who focuses strictly on your manifesting ability. See, because of what you've been told, you think that you can actually predict things with tarot. Yeah, you might be once in a while able to fake it, maybe get something. But for the most part, other than movies, which are not real anyway, you really cannot predict the future with the tarot. What you can predict, potential. And that's up to you because manifesting is a personal sport. Manifesting is done in you, with you, beside you. Nobody else should be able to affect or infect your manifesting ability. We're not taught much about manifesting. In fact, we're really not taught technique in any meaningful way whatsoever. We pay lip service to it, yabba, but we really don't encourage it. And we don't encourage it because your being able to manifest is threatening. It upsets the apple cart. It upsets the establishment. John D. Rockefeller, just around 1900, maybe a little bit like into 19 teens, something like that, was an evil, rotten human being. I mean, by any definition, he should have been assassinated. But he was one of the richest men in the world, and he was going to make his imprint. It was not a good imprint. It was a control imprint. He did horrendous things in taking over the oil industry. He did horrendous things in making big pharma. What he did was killed the regular medical schools and then put together big pharma, which has petroleum-based drugs. He was in the oil business. You see the connection? He also decided that he was going to change our school system because he said, and this is a quote, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of doers." So your being able to manifest goes totally against all of this. So we really don't want you to have the power. I do. It may take a little effort because it's going to take a little convincing. It's going to take a little getting comfortable with the possibility. However, you do manifest all the time. Little ways, tiny ways. It may be that pair of shoes or that whatever the hell it is, whatever you want to buy because we're oriented into buying. And you just kind of passing thought, geez, it'd be nice if, and a couple of weeks down the road, you find those same shoes half price off. Well, it's manifesting. Okay? But we do it in all kinds of ways, all sorts of ways. Generally speaking, 99.9% of the time, it's not a big deal. Largely because we don't believe that we can do it. But manifesting is reaching inside of you, your mind, body, spirit, getting them all to line up. And just putting out an energy, a frequency, and waiting for the universe to match that frequency. When it happens, boom, you got it. Now, what this reading does on a day-to-day basis is puts out a frequency. Every day I'll do a brand new read, holidays, whatever, doesn't make any difference. 365, I'm here for you. That's my mission. Don't ask me how I got it, why I got it. It's just my job. The way I see it is to inspire you. If I get likes, if I get subscribes, if I get a great response, fabulous. But that doesn't change my mission. My mission is to inspire you. Now, part of that inspiration is letting you know that you should probably try to find out what your life purpose is if you haven't figured it out. You can use numerology to do that. You can use astrology with the North Node, the moon ascendant and stuff, and your house placements, and you can get a pretty good idea. Once you find that life path, that life destiny, manifest in that area. Because in spite of what you've been told, you can't be whatever you want to be. Unless that essence really touches your soul, is your life destiny, then you're going to see in the numerology and the astrology it match up. Okay? But if you fight your life destiny, you're going nowhere fast. You're fighting the energies. So my job is to inspire you to put out on a daily basis the latest frequency, the latest energy. If it resonates with you, run. I mean, go like hell. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. It may tomorrow, the next day, next week, next year, whatever. A frequency will come up that will, bam, hit you in the chest and you go, whoa, man. Or, and this is where it gets deceiving, it may be just a little thought passing through your mind, just a little poop. But that thought, it resonates. And it resonates. And it resonates. And before you know it, it blows up into a really big thing. Very often, some of the biggest things in our lives start with the smallest piece of energy. So that's what I'm hoping to do, is to inspire you on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not going to hand you a line of baloney. I am not going to tell you that I'm predicting anything. What I'm doing is talking potential. If it matches with you on any level, and again, sometimes the smallest level ends up being the most powerful. It's like an acorn to an oak tree, that kind of thing, right? So let's get to it. Middle card is always the oracle card. Today it's the observer. A fox sitting on what looks like an egg, looking at a moon. Well, we got a lunar thing coming up, right? I think a full moon today, tomorrow, something like that. Okay. Observer. Doesn't seem like it's a very active situation. There's a lot of energy that goes into observing. There's a difference between seeing and observing. Observing means that, yes, I see it, but I'm trying to put it into context. Think of it as you doing a jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzle happens to be your life. Now, if you've done jigsaw puzzles before, you know that they can be very complicated, and our lives are very complicated, so there are a lot of parts and pieces in this jigsaw puzzle. But you start putting in the pieces. At first, matching up colors or matching up something that kind of works, and then you put a few of these together, and then before you know it, you go, kind of beginning to sense the picture. So then you can start to put more pieces together because you're getting a sense. You are observing, not just seeing, you are observing what the ultimate picture will be. And it helps you work better. And that's what you're in the best position to do right now, and that is observe. Every day I keep up with what's going on. For the past 3 years, like you, my life has turned 180 degrees. Everything that I thought was true comes out to be a lie or a half-truth. Yeah, they dropped this little nugget, but they didn't tell you the most important part of the story. And it's that important part of the story. It's those pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that you have to see, you have to observe. So observing is not just seeing. Observing is working with understanding. Put those parts and pieces together. Begin to see the connection. And that is essentially vital right now because we are on the verge of something profound. There will be mass change on the planet and with humanity. Question is, which way? Are we going to become little robots? Are they going to continue to treat us like data pieces? And eventually, and I mean eventually 5 years, maybe 10 at the most, we're going to be replaced by robots? Is that the evolution? Are we going to turn into the Borg? Resistance is futile? Or are we going to say, hey, 1776 all over again? And this will very likely be an all or nothing proposition. All in, all out. You win, you lose. Nothing in between. So it is vital right now that you begin to learn to observe, to put the parts and pieces together. They may not fit quite perfectly, but you can see there is a connection. And there are several puzzle pieces in between that will fill that out. You have to find those puzzle pieces. One of the things that will help you comes from Plato, who said, "He who does not desire power is fit to hold it." So all of these people running for president, I'll make a difference, I'll make a difference, I'll make a difference, you can depend. Maybe not. Maybe not. But what we need these days is a patriot, not a politician. If we settle for a politician again, they are corrupted the day they walk into the office of president. And nothing changes. In fact, it gets a whole hell of a lot worse. Like I said, we are on the brink. I mean, we are close. I will be surprised if we make it to 2030 in one piece. I really will be surprised. So that's why it's essential right now for you to get this puzzle thinking, this puzzle mentality. I see the parts. I'm going to start to try to link them together to tell me the story so I can see the picture. That leads us to our first card, the Hermit. The Hermit is turning inside. The Hermit is looking for understanding. And that's really what I'm asking you to do right now. The Hermit also talks about inner guidance, the subconscious, and yes, that's true. But those things will, I believe, rise to the top as you do your observation. As you begin to go, oh, here's piece A, here's piece Z. I want to try to figure out what the other puzzle pieces are. So the Hermit is more than anything else in this reading, not so much going inside as just being observant. Remember, he has that lantern, that bright light. He can see things very clearly with that lantern. And that's what you have to do with you. Your lantern is your mind, is your intuition. And it is essential not only for your survival, but for the survival of mankind that you observe. Right now, however, we're leaning on the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is really self-imprisonment. Swords are thoughts, ideas, right? The Nine of Swords says, man, you are making yourself suffer. You are trying to run through all kinds of scenarios, not really knowing what's going on, or maybe not even caring. Well, just que sera, sera. Whatever's going to be is going to be. I don't care. Yeah, you do. Because you ain't going to want to live where they're going to put you. You ain't going to want to live where they're going to put you. And they're working on it right now. And everything that you thought was true very likely is a lie or a half-truth at best. And it's those ideas, it's those thoughts that are keeping you from activating the Hermit energy. But there will come a time, it's not here yet because the card is in reverse, there will come a time, Knight of Swords says, when you are going to have that revelation, when you're going to be able to put the parts and pieces together. Knights bring gifts, and this knight will bring incisiveness, intelligence, acting with certainty. If you decide, I'm going to observe, not just see, but I'm going to observe, you will have an aha moment. You will connect the dots. When you do that, Page of Pentacles takes effect. Your value system changes. You know what's important then. You know that you're being handed a line of bullshit and you can separate it clearly, cleanly, and move on your own because that's what you're going to have to do. That's why you have to observe. You have to be involved. You cannot just sit on the sideline and watch life pass you by. Because there's more to lose than you even really understand at this moment. Even I don't understand it all, but I've put parts and pieces together enough to know. Just read a story, overnight. Right now, BlackRock runs the world. They own 88%, or control, not own. They control 88% of all the CEOs in business in America. That's a monopoly. You wonder why government doesn't give a damn about you. You wonder why they don't even consider you. You wonder why they have done nothing for you for decades. Almost 90% of business in America controlled by one company. That's fascism. Puzzle thinking. Put the parts and pieces together. Get the big picture. To do that, you have to observe. Get to it. That's today's Tao Tarot reading, manifested stuff. Do it again tomorrow, as I said. And until we get together down the road of peace and do some more tarot together, peace and blessing.